So this is the second part of the video, and I'm going to explain in this part about how we can configure the Kubernetes cluster, how we can deploy our application, how we can deploy the services, how we can configure the secrets, and how we can use those secrets for our application and volumes. So as a cluster administrator, we have to take care of the host security that include the front end. There are issues like front end vulnerabilities. We need to figure out that we can scan and solve that. And Kubernetes API server, role-based access control RBAC is a very important part of the configuration. The API server firewall. We need the firewall to protect our cluster and applications and component to save from the hackers. So, and we also as an administrator, we have to apply some network security policies. So the securing the Kubernetes system and resources as an administrator, we need to take care of the following. We need to cover the following areas, like we need to implement access control using RBAC, and it's a role-based access where like multiple developers working on a program, on a cluster. Then we have to define the role-based access so no one can disturb like a crucial area, like secure area of the cluster. We can find the information about which user have which authorization more and which node has which authorization by using the kubectl cluster dump. So cluster dump is like is providing information about the cluster. We have to prevent the risky action by the pod protection policy. So how we can apply the policies that we can see in when I'm going to explain the YAMLs. So implementing firewall and network access using network policies. So we can define the network policies and we can implement the firewall to our components, like running instance on a nodes. So using secrets to store the handle confidential data like tokens and passwords and certificates. We need to store all those in a secrets, and so no one can access that, and no one can see that in a plain text. So we should use the scanner for identifying and remedy the image vulnerabilities. That I have used the KubeHunter and KubeBench. These tools are developed by the Aqua Securities, and it is not like a 100% solution for penetration testing. So pen testing is like a whole separate special expertise. But as an administrator level, at least we can make sure the configuration as per the guideline, like CVS, as per the CIS benchmarks. What are the configuration we, as an administrator, we need to take care of this, that we can find by running this application like KubeHunter and KubeBench, and that will give us a great information about the configuration. So the next step is to deploy application on a Kubernetes cluster, and we need to configure the cluster for the security reason. So this is the most important part, how we can deploy our application using YAML files. And YAML file we can like is a human readable format of the configuration, where we can mention all the configuration, and we can apply those configuration using kubectl apply command. So this is a deployment file for the Django app, where metadata is the app name, and we can give the label on that port. This is for the only one replicas. It is not advisable to run only 1 hour replicas, because when we have a traffic in our app, we need more than 1 replicas. If the single pod, the single container is crash, then we don't have any service to serve to the customer. So we should have more than 1 running instance on a node. So that's how we can label the pods, and the metadata is a label of the pod. We can the specs area is a specification where we can mention which image Kubernetes should use to build this container, and we can give the image name, and once the container is up and running, which is the first command Kubernetes should run, we can give an instruction by mentioning like this command flag, and we can give the command here. So this command will run the Django app server and serve on port 8000. So this YAML is we can use for store the secrets on Kubernetes. So this is the Postgres credential YAML with API version 1. So Kubernetes has API versions that identify that the validate that versions validate the YAML files, and we can identify the secrets by the name using the metadata name, and type the open queue and we can mention our data like a username and password like this. And I have find the better way to generate the password for the secrets. So this is, we can run this echo command with the base with the password, whatever we can our choice, and the system will throw us back the base 64 for encodation for that password, and we can use that as a username and a password. As a password, sorry, I have messed up here. So we can use that as a password, and that would be a strong password. And we can also apply this configuration, the secret, by using kubectl command. So persistent volume, this is the YAML to get a 2 gigabytes of persistent volume from the cluster, and this is how we can mention the name of the volume that we can claim for the storage in our application deployment YAML. So it has a read write once, like at a time only this service you can read or you can write. And this is the path for the data storage. Persistent volume claim. So once we have a persistent volume, we have to claim that volume from the cluster, and this is how we can claim the volume. And this is the PVC, the Postgres PVC is the name of that volume claim. So Postgres deployment, we can deploy the Postgres container by using this YAML file. And Postgres is also listening on port 5432 that's mentioned here. That's the path for this data. And the most important thing as a security perspective is this area where we can mention the Postgres username and password. So this is the way we can call the password and username from secrets. So if anybody can have access for this YAML, he cannot find the what is the password or what is the username. Postgres service. So each deployment we should have a service for that, and this is the way we can access the Postgres service. and this is the container name Postgres container that we have created as an instance of the Postgres running application, and this service will interact with that instance. This is the migration YAML. So on a Django project, we have to run the migration when we make any changes in the models, or when we first have to upload the create the tables in a database. So Django deployment, this is the whole deployment file. This is the one file I have. It's a long file, so I have divided into two parts. So this is how we can write the Django deployment YAML file. It's a long file, so it contains, this is the only one file with the two slides, and we can mention the volume mount here. We can mention the secrets credential here. And Nginx is a server that can serve our application on a net. So here is the highlighted portion where by using these three dashes we can use the single deployment file for two, like service and stateful set. So the application met should match with name, should match with these names. So that's how we can connect service and application together to run. So this is the rollback YAML. This is how we can define the roles for the group, like development team, testing team, and different teams. So get, watch, and list are the verbs that Kubernetes use for the configuration for the role. And this is role binding, cluster role binding YAML. This is how we can define the policies in a cluster. Like this is the ABAC policy is no longer people are using this. People are using the RBAC, but this is the sample of the ABAC. We can just change the name here RBAC, and we can use that. The authorization and encrypt secret. We can encrypt the secret by using this kind of flag. So pod security policies, we can define the policies using this kind of this format of YAML. And the configure quality of service for pods, we can give a guaranteed service, stable service, and based effort. So these are the three different kind of service types we can provide for the pods. Certificates and keys we can store. I already show you how we can store the secrets. So this is the one more example for that. And this is how we can configure the domains. So network policies, this is the sample for network policies YAML. And Kubernetes attack vectors. So if we have a loose like faulty configuration, these are the aspects where attackers can attack. And KubeHunter and KubeBench are the tools for the security audit which I have used in this project. These are the steps towards the finishing the practical work of the project. And future work is, this is the important part where when I find like the result from the scanning tools KubeHunter and KubeBench, I have got some vulnerability IDs none, so we cannot get the help about that vulnerability on that tools documentation. So this is the future work I have to consider, and I have to find the solution for that. Thank you. This is all about my project presentation. Hope you like it, sir. Thank you very much, and I greatly appreciate your support during the whole semester. Thank you very much. For the wrap up, I am especially thanks to Mani sir. He gave great guidance and help.